Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. Paul and Max are here. We are starting with a preview of this coming Sunday's Arsenal match. Paul, let's start with you. How do you see us matching up against Arsenal in terms of their strengths, our weaknesses?
Arsenal, they had a few teething problems to start with, as we mentioned. They lost the opening two games, but every time I've watched Arsenal, I haven't looked at them and thought, wow, that's a team that's really going to struggle. I think that a lot of people overreact to their first two losses. They had a horrific start. They had City away. Was it City at home? Sorry, City at home and Chelsea away. Yeah, so Chelsea away, and they lost the first two games, but they weren't, outclassed or bullied or drubbed in either one of those games. They just were up against better teams, and they very nearly and probably deserved something from Chelsea away. So Arsenal, I think, are a team that are going to be okay this season, more than okay, and they've got a very good squad. It's just taking their manager a little bit of time to basically what our manager's doing. He's trying to assess everybody, work out which systems work, which systems don't, which players he can rely on, who is going to go to the scrap heap. So I just see two teams and two clubs and two managers who are facing the same type of problems and seem to have one team seems to be finding their feet quicker than the other team is. They seem to have they've got on a winning streak. We look like we're just taking one step forward, two steps back. So player for player, they are a better team than we are. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. But I think, do they have match winners in their team? Yes, they do. Aubameyang and Lacazette and Ozil when he feels like it. We've got Richarlison and, I don't know, maybe Sigurdsson on his day. So, to sum up, they look like a better team. They're a team in better form, and they're a team that looks like they've got their act together a lot quicker than we do. So, here's hoping, but I'm not confident.
Max, Paul alluded to Arsenal's new manager, Unai Emery, comes in with some pedigree coming from PSG and before that Sevilla. Talking about the transition, Paul mentioned us being in a similar situation. Do you think Unai Emery's got an easier transition than Silva does before him, or is it pretty similar?
No, I think he's got a lot easier transition in the sense that it's never easy preceding a legacy as such, like the one that Arsene Wenger's left at Arsenal. He's very much left his blueprint and ingrained in Arsenal as a club. That philosophy that you grew up watching Arsenal play. I know I can definitely speak for myself. Arsenal growing up, they always played beautiful football and they always had world class players. Robert Perez, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp. They're maybe not of that pedigree and calibre anymore, and they kind of seem to have slipped off the top of the page with the likes of City, United, Chelsea, and even them lot. But they're scrapping and clawing to make their way back up there, and I certainly think they are on the right tracks. I rate Emery really highly as a manager. I thought particularly at Sevilla, what he did, particularly his European achievements, were absolutely brilliant. As I say, I regard him really high as a manager, and obviously with that imprint of Wenger being there for as long as it has, of course, they're going to come up with some sort of friction almost, trying to implement the new philosophy and the new style that Emery wants them to play. And I'm a huge fan of some of the business that they've got in. I know they signed it was pretty much out of the blue, and I've got to be honest, I still can't properly pronounce his name, but the young French midfielder that they brought in from centre mid, I think he's absolutely fantastic. And as you know, Gerry, I was a huge fan of Lucas Torreira when he was at Sampdoria, and they managed to bring him in as well. I never liked playing Arsenal. It's a funny one. Some of me, for example, Martinez at home, the 3-0 Arsenal at home, it's one of my favourite Everton memories. And honestly, I've got to say, it's not very often that we come off the better side against Arsenal. And, similar to what Paul said, the confidence isn't there. But fingers crossed, we turn up on the day.
Every time we face up with Arsenal, I have some confidence. Every single time I look at them and I think they're beatable. I look at other displays against other squads and I think that's a beatable. And then we play them.
Yeah.
And man for man, they look like a more skilled, a more well-oiled machine, and it usually ends in frustration.
Yeah. Just
So
gonna say
yeah,
that
I'm trying not to get sucked in.
those players, you know, the one you look at them and you think, well, you know, Paul said that, you know, some of them are hit and miss. Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette, they've took it. You know, they're subject to a lot of scrutiny, and like you say, Gerry, on the day, you know, on paper you may think you'll have them, but on the day, particularly against Everton, those players, those classy players, they turn up and they put in a good performance. And I think Arsenal at the current time, reaching that level, we talk about it so much because it's what Everton really lack, is that quality and depth. You look at their bench, you've got the likes of Mkhitaryan and Stefan Lichtsteiner. I know they brought Leno in from Bayern Leverkusen as well. They're all kind of transfers that like bolster the ranks, and the players that would probably come into our side in a heartbeat. So, you know, I do feel like they are building something. Whether it'll be successful or not, time will tell.
We're talking about how they've got some class players. Possible starters, rolling with Cech in goal, Bellerin on the right, Mustafi and Socrates. Then Monreal on the left, Guendouzi. He's that young guy. It's got that long. I'm trying to remember if it's Sideshow Mel or Sideshow Bob hair. It's very, huge hair. Granit Xhaka, Ozil, Ramsey, Aubameyang, Lacazette. When I look at that lineup, guys, I feel like the weak spots are at center mid. Not center mid, sorry, center back. I'm not completely impressed with Granit Xhaka. I feel like he's a little inconsistent, but I feel like Mustafi and Socrates, I feel like they haven't gelled yet as a pair, and that's where I think they've got weakness. I just look at their, Ozil, Ramsey, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. That's just stout.
Mm-hmm.
But however, if Ozil's in the mood to play, because you mentioned it earlier, he may not feel like it. So, Paul, danger men you mentioned, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil. I would almost throw Ramsey in there. Doesn't it seem like he manages to score against us?
Yeah, he's one of those players. He loves playing Everton. He always gets a goal. He's involved somehow, and it's not anything that benefits us. So yeah, I'd include that, Ramsey in the centre midfield, and we know how poor we look in centre midfield at the moment. So if there was ever going to be a game that he was going to dominate and really look world class, it's going to be against Everton, isn't it? Especially the way Everton are playing now. We just always seem to. We're really terrible for flattering players. There can be a lot of opposition players play against us, and we make them look far better than they need be. I mean, Yarmolenko against West Ham the other week. Yarmolenko looked like Gareth Bale. And, you know what I mean? And Yarmolenko is one of these players who the only reason West Ham have him in the first place is because he went to Dortmund, a big Champions League club, and couldn't cut it. That's as simple as that. He hasn't left Dortmund to go play for West Ham because he loves London and he just loves the idea of playing in that. I can't even think of that opera house of a stadium. So I mean, the only reason Yarmolenko is at West Ham is because Dortmund showed him the door, and he can't find any other club that will pay him stupid money. And we make Yarmolenko look like Gareth Bale. So Ramsey is going to be made to look like Prime Xavi. I really hope not, but the way our midfield's are, we need to get our act together. Someone needs to go in and let him know that they're there. He needs to be tackled. He needs to be harried. Someone needs to go into him quick and let him know that he's in for a battle. He's not just going to have it all his own way like he did last year when he scored that hat-trick against us and we made him just look like out of this world.
Max, was that painful to hear? I hear you like kind of moaning over there.
Yeah, you just jogging me memory of the games playing them last season, like that.
Last season, that one hurt.
Jesus,
under Allardyce,
that game at the end.
That was one of the worst games to watch.
Woo! That game was the lowest ebb of last season. I know last season was really bad and it had some really bad times. That was the lowest of the low for me, because it's bad when your team is getting absolutely humiliated and drubbed and you're laughing. You're not even angry. You're not spitting. You're not even throwing your hands up. You're just sitting there and you're just smiling to yourself. That's what I was doing. I was like, oh my God, this is so bad, it's not real.
And it was
this
it
has
was
to be a
mainly
dream.
that first half too.
Yeah.
The first half was because the second half I thought we actually played a little better. I mean, we hit the post. Omar did, I think.
Yeah.
Later on in that, but the first half we were rolling that 3 in the back with the 2 wingbacks, and we had
Giving me
William was it Williams, Keane, and Mangala?
Mangala, poor
yeah.
Mangala was thrown in there.
Mangala only been training for like the last 2 days, and he was dropped in on the left of a back three under Sam Allardyce. Jesus Christ, I don't know.
I remember it.
When you come up against an Arsenal side, and I always harp back to it, but like as a prime example, you watch that game where we beat them 3-0. Within like the first 20 seconds, Stephen Naismith nailed Mikel Arteta with a sliding challenge before the ball even started rolling. You know what I mean? I think when you come up against an Arsenal side, you got to be in the faces. You've got to harry them, and you got to hit them hard. If you stand off them and let them play the football like we did at that game at the Emirates, you're gonna get spanked. You know, they're gonna showcase some of this training ground football ability where they can find men in all areas of the pitch. You know, if you stand off Mesut Ozil, he's gonna make you look silly. You stand off Aaron Ramsey on a good day, he's going to make you look silly, or he's going to rifle one into the top corner. I just hope this is a game that we take by the scruff of the neck. Maybe we'll have to concede the possession, but we need to be in the face. We've won again. Anything else.
To compare them to a boxer, Arsenal have a glass jaw. They have huge punches. If you lay back and just let them come at you, they will hurt you and hurt you badly. If you go in their face and you look to land a bomb on them really quick and look to take their head off, then you will more often than not succeed. They have got a lot of players who play pretty football but don't have any inner nastiness, any inner steel. It's one of the reasons that Wenger has got a lot of criticism over the years, because he doesn't like signing hard cases. Do you know what I mean? Like real like guys with a lot of snide, like guys who go in and tackle. Yeah.
Talking about Arsenal, I always seem to come round to it and bring it back up. They've missed Patrick Vieira since he's left much. Someone of that calibre, that leader, that snide player that's always in the referee's face, that'll always land the crunch and slide challenge. I mean, obviously, younger players coming in, like the French lad and Torreira, they're not going to have that air about them, air about them until a good few seasons in. But I do think in the long term, they may have found a replacement, particularly with Torreira. But yeah, as Paul said, they don't have that fire that they used to have. And more often than not, Everton don't take advantage of that. You know, as we said, hopefully this is the start of changes from Everton, and we start seeing us taking it to these bigger sides at their ground, etc. And, you know, that's got to start on Sunday.
I will tell you, I have yet to see Silva line us up in a formation and a game plan to not lose. You know what I mean? However, we've played some not as great opposition.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal's our first big test of the season. I still think Silva's going to have a similar game plan. You know, and at least we're going to be going at them. It's not going to be a situation where we're like just trying to contain and thinking, well, if we stay off you can't get by us, and then you won't score, and it's 0-0, right? You know what I mean? Because that is the philosophy we took last season, and it was embarrassing.
It was very embarrassing.
Because we had no counter punch to that in the first half. It was man, that was my low point last season.
Yeah.
That was my low point
definitely.
for sure. Wow. All right, let's talk about something else. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's terrible. So let's do predictions for this weekend. This might be just as bad. I don't know. Who wants to start?
2-0 Arsenal.
I don't like predicting the team to lose, even if I think it. I will say I would be very, very, very happy with a point. If we can just go there and stink the place out and not have a shot and run away with a point, I'll have that. But we're not going to go to Arsenal and play them off the park. It's not happening. The only way we're beating them in this current state we are now, I mean, I want to get to the point where we are going to Arsenal and we are looking to beat them up and just drub them and go there with no fear. But this takes time. So right now, I would take a point, and if we can get anything more than that, I'd be over the moon. But the only way I see Everton getting anything out of this game is if we get a quick goal on the counter. I don't see us going there and standing toe to toe with them. If we do that, then we're asking for another drubbing.
So 1-1, 0-0, 2-2, or 6-6.
2-2, maybe a
2-2.
maybe a breakaway goal and maybe a goal off a corner, something like that. I don't care how the goals come, whether they're scrappy, whether they're champagne football. If we can get a goal, and especially if we can get a goal that puts us in front, then that will give us the world of confidence. There's no point scoring when we're 3 or 4-0 down like last season, and it's just a consolation. I don't care if we get a consolation goal. Get a goal while the game's still active, while the game's still going. The game's still there to be won or there to be chased. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go for a 1-1, but maybe that's my heart saying it, not my head.
He just channeled Edward just then. My heart, my head. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. I rarely predict us to lose. I just think our defense is not solid yet. Communication is not even if we start Holgate, who's been there for a while, or if we start Mina will not have been there very long. There's always the chance for defensive miscommunication. And Holgate, gosh, he can only go up from last game. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we're going to give up goals. But I think we score. We just have a tendency to score lately. We don't get shut out often. Cue us getting shut out. So, Max is picking a 2-0 loss. I'm picking 2-1 loss. Paul's picking 2-2 draw.
2-2, yeah. I said 1-1. 2-2. I think we'll score as well, but it's just whether we can score as many as them. So,
right on. All right. So I guess that does it for our Arsenal preview. Stay tuned for a little bit. We'll be doing our starting 11 segment. So, tease next segment. If you're digging what we do, please subscribe. We're kind of gradually gathering the subs, so thanks very much for that. We appreciate it. You can check out Paul and the Liverpool Echo fan jury, but he also has some analysis on the Toffee Blues website, so you can see that there. Max also has analysis on the Toffee Blues website, so check that out. I guess that's it for now. We're going to go rock that starting 11 segment, so bye.